Hi folks, Job Lot Comics here. We're having a look at another old Bronze Age Brave and the Bold starring Batman. This time he's with the Phantom Stranger again. That last Batman we looked at, he was with the House of Mystery, and then here he is again with the Phantom Stranger. There's old PS there, and I don't know what he's doing. Why does he look so happy? And Robin's doing that whole David Copperfield thing. Arise, ye ghosts of Gotham. To me, that looks like a Neil Adams cover. What do you think? I don't see a signature anywhere, but it looks like him. The thing that throws me is that it isn't Neil Adams that's doing the interiors here. You've got Bob Haney, who again was doing all these Brave and the Bold stories. Ross Andrew and Mike Esposito. You probably know Ross Andrew's stuff. That silly splash page. You probably know Ross Andrew more from his work on Spider-Man, but it's interesting to see him here doing a bit of work on the old Dark Knight, and we're getting another supernatural story. It's so strange that in the 70s, I guess Batman, they were wanting to get away from the Silver Age, and they were wanting to get away from the sort of silly campiness that the TV show inflicted on us, and then of course Batman after the Frederick Wertham's Seduction of the Innocent, they were probably a little bit more concerned about keeping Batman in a positive light and making his stories much more silly, much more comedic, focusing on maybe sci-fi and things. So there was definitely a point where they just gave up and thought, we can't write Batman like this anymore. We're going to have to darken him down. Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams in Batman issue 251. You'll know that one. I think I've got it somewhere. I'll dig it out, and it's the Joker's Five-Way Revenge, which really pretty much I feel was the start of that Bronze Age of Batman, where he was dealing with villains at a street level sort of thing, dealing with crime and things. The Joker was this assassin at that point, who was really quite sinister the way Neil Adams had drawn him, and I think that was the real start of Batman's darker age. And it seems to be a trend that they're leaning into here with these kind of supernatural stories, and Batman and the Phantom Stranger just seems such an odd pick. And then if we have a look at this advert page here, yeah, apart from Sugar and Spike, what the, you'll see even the Superboy cover, yeah, it's pretty grim. It's Superboy and Jonathan is in this car wreck and he's pulling it out, so you can see that, you know, even other things were quite sort of dark, and then you've got a war book here, Star Spangled War. So you could see DC definitely leaning into a more darker age with what it was they were putting out, and I suppose that just gets reflected in these books all around. So this issue here, not particularly memorable except for the cover and the fact that the Phantom Stranger's in here, and this weird kind of supernatural story. But it's always interesting to look and see where these kind of things come from, yeah, and to understand that. And this was 1970, and Batman wasn't this sort of campy 60s thing at this point. He was definitely doing his own thing. Let's have another look at that cover. I'm pretty sure that's Neil Adams. What do you think? Is there any experts out there? I ain't no expert. I ain't got no idea what's going on. Yeah, what's that? Is that a That's not, no it's not. That's a strange marking on that arm there. I thought maybe it was a signature. No. There we go. So, Arise, Ye Ghosts of Gotham's Batman Phantom Stranger number 89, Brave and the Bold. Hope you enjoyed looking at that. If you did enjoy looking at that, why don't you subscribe to the channel, you doit bags? And I'll see you on the next one.